Hey everyone, it's Ryan Joyce from GenLogs. I used to do clandestine operations. I think I would have been okay at carrier operations. Today we're going to talk about carrier vetting like you're a ninja. The story begins with 𝗂𝗓 Lloyd, a friend of mine who's a truck driver based in Virginia. And he hit me up the other day on LinkedIn and said, hey, this is so ironic. This broker rejected using me for a load because I lacked visibility. Well, I came back and said, man, I'm so sorry to hear that. Also, it's interesting. You're a pass in GenLogs, so I don't know why that brokerage rejected you. I mean, we just saw you. And then I showed him a picture of what it looked like in the GenLogs platform where he certainly was a pass, 𝗏𝗏 LLC. And you can see that we had seen him in the last 7 days here in Virginia. And indeed, when I looked at our compliance rules, I saw that he was a pass for the carrier having been observed by GenLogs, in this case in the last 14 days, where we had seen him just a few days prior in Ruther Glen, Virginia, with his flatbed out there, that's 𝗏𝗏 LLC. Then 𝗂𝗓 came back and said, well, I think someone there is making an error. Hopefully they'll fix it. The broker's still working on it. He's got the VP on the situation. I said, okay, great. Just tell him to search your USDOT in our asset locator tool, and they'll be able to see if you've been out there on the roads recently. And then I said this, hey, here's another trick that they can use to just ask you what commodity were you carrying on some random day? Like, what was the truck 614 hauling on September 5th, 2025, way out in Idaho? So I explained it that they could simply ask a question that only the legitimate carrier would know. If someone else bought that motor carrier number off of Facebook, they wouldn't know a question about what that truck was hauling on September 5th out in Idaho. But GenLogs users know because we could look back through about 3 years of images, and in this case find on September 5th out in Idaho, what was 𝗏𝗏 LLC hauling? And here's the commodity. But this is what really blew me away. I was asking, hey, what were you hauling out there? And 𝗂𝗓 came back and said, wow, that's amazing tech. It was a load of onions. But he didn't just stop there. He actually sent a picture of that exact load out there. This is incredible. The guy back in September had taken a picture of his load of onions that had been loaded on that flatbed, which then GenLogs saw just a few hours later, hauling down I-84 in Idaho. And what I love about 𝗂𝗓 is that you could tell that he was so proud about how he hauled those onions. He talked about how they were loaded. He talked about the strap work. I mean, that is the type of carrier that we should all want to work with. Not some bottom feeder off of the load boards, but a legitimate carrier that knows exactly where he was September 5th of 2025. He took pictures of his strap work and he's ready to do it for you again. And 𝗂𝗓 was really appreciative at the end that I took the time to explain how brokers can do a better job of vetting. They can certainly look for recent images on the roads, but they can also go back and use GenLogs' 3 years of historic images, over 3 billion images of carriers on the roads, in order to vet carriers. Now, if you want to use a carrier like 𝗂𝗓, use 𝗂𝗓. His USDOT is 4325250. That's 𝗏𝗏 LLC. And I'm going to leave his email up on the screen for a second so you can reach out to him and start booking loads to and from Virginia. And that, my friends, is how you do carrier vetting like a ninja.